Beer O'Clock, and this is the Beer O'Clock show, where every week we engage in some light-hearted and very knowledgeable beer-related banter. My name is Mark, and joining me from the only county where a mile is actually a mile and a half is Steve. G'day, Steve.
Good evening. And how did you come to that conclusion?
Well, it's called the Essex Mile. So, Henry Joyce, who was an amateur cartographer from Ilford, attempted to measure various distances between Essex villages, but unfortunately he failed to calibrate his equipment first. So his miles actually ended up being a mile and a half. So there you go.
No wonder it takes so long to get anywhere in Essex, or it feels as though it takes so long to get anywhere.
Apparently Clacton was 30 miles into the English Channel, according to his measurements. So how are you doing, mate?
I'm good, thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Wishing the week would go a bit faster, but we're still stuck on Tuesday.
Yeah.
But
it
Tuesdays
seems to slow down the closer you get to Christmas, doesn't it?
Yeah, Tuesdays are our beer day, though.
That they are. There's always something to look forward to on a Tuesday.
Yeah. So what's new for you beer-wise?
I've had quite an interesting week in beer. At the weekend, I tried a few different beers from a few of the small microbreweries in London that are currently going through a bit of a resurgence at the moment.
Okay.
I ordered them from place online, beer merchants, and got them delivered to my door. So I had a bit of a session on those on Friday night, which was fun. And they were all really, really nice. You can really tell the care and time that's gone into making these beers. So
any breweries that stood out for you amongst them?
Well, I did 3 different breweries. I did Beavertown, which I think they're based over East London way, around the Shadwell area. That I tried one of their beers, which was called 8 Ball, which just reading back on my check-in on Untapped, I put amazing flavours, dark spicy hops, deep malty flavours. So that one went down particularly well. And then I did a couple from the Colonel Brewery as well, which were featured recently on that BBC show. I did an India Pale Ale Topaz, which, having previously done the Adnams Topaz, I kind of knew what to expect from the Topaz hop. Okay. But this one was slightly different. It was very sharp, very citrusy, and a lot more sour and sort of bitter than the Adnams one. And then the one that I did that was an absolute winner for me was it was an India Pale Ale, and it's called Scanners, which is a collaboration between the Colonel Brewery and also Brody's Brewery, which is another small London microbrewery, and that was just an absolutely amazing IPA. Just so hoppy, hoppy aroma, hoppy flavour, hoppy aftertaste, but at the same time just so smooth and well balanced as well. So for me, that one jumped straight into my top 5 beers of all time, because I've just had nothing like it before. It was just amazing.
Wow, what was the name of that one again?
Scanners. It's a collaboration. It's put out by Colonel, but it's a collaboration between them and Brody's Beers.
Okay.
It's certainly well worth a find and a taste, because it's a great beer.
Yeah, I have to try and find somewhere that I can get some Colonel beers, because they were in that BBC show that we mentioned a couple of times in the last couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anything else to report other than your weekly assignment?
No, not really. Just the weekly assignment, which is due. I did do a Brody's beer as well, which was called the Hackney Red IPA, and again that was just hops all the way through.
Wow.
A lovely little beer. All 4 of these beers that I did on Friday night in what I called my London Craft Beer Festival. That they're all bottle conditioned as well. So obviously, sort of, they're still conditioning in the bottle. There's still the yeast in the bottle, so was careful with the pouring. But they were just all, the one thing for me that came through all of them was the hops. That's you just got different tastes, different flavours, different types of hops. Absolutely lovely. I thoroughly enjoyed myself on Friday night, and seeing as all of the beers as well were all around the 7% mark, I slept very, very well on Friday evening.
Very good. I've only had a few. I had one of my old favourites, the Golden Glory by Badgers, which is their peachy beer. I love that beer. A Spring Breeze by Bateman's that I'm looking at my taps and I don't have my note on there. But I remember that being very nice and light and hoppy. Mm-hmm. And then I had a Spindrift from Adnams, which I think I've had before. It's their blonde beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found that quite nice. It was a bit heavy for me, but my tastes vary from day to day. And then I had my personal assignment. Now, remind me what your personal assignment was last week, Steve.
Mine was the grand opening of the first door on our beer event calendar.
Yeah.
So it was by Harvestoon, and it was a beer called Mr. Snowballs.
And how did that go down? What did you think of that?
It's a really surprising beer, actually, because the name of it and the description of it gives you the impression that what you're going to be getting is a very sort of light golden ale, when actually what you get when you pour it out of the bottle is a much darker beer that pours. It's almost bordering on. I wouldn't go as far as saying it's kind of the ruby coloured ale, but it's certainly bordering on being a more of a brown ale than it is a golden ale. Mm-hmm. So that's the surprising thing about it. Very little carbonation, but the aroma that you get off of it is very sweet and caramel like. So it's quite a nice aroma that you get off it. In terms of the tasting, light roasted malts coming through, subtle hops, especially on the aftertaste as well, and a very bittersweet taste to it. And then again, as the beer warms and you get more through it, sweeter flavours coming through later on. So overall, in my summary, it's quite a surprising beer, but very well balanced flavours, strong malts coming through, and I gave it 3 stars.
Okay, cool. My weekly assignment was the India Pale Ale from Harvey's, which I didn't expect to be that great, considering it's only like 3.5%. But it was surprisingly flavoursome. If you haven't had this, I think you would like it. Obviously, with that percentage ABV, it's very easygoing. But lovely hops coming through it as well. And there was a nice malty undertone to it as well. Very nicely balanced. And I've got an entire box of Harvey's here that I got as a leaving present from my last job from my boss. And this was one of those beers. So I'm looking forward to getting into the rest of them, considering there's some 7.5%ers in there as well. So, yeah.
Our number one fan's a big Harvey's fan, isn't he?
Oh, is he?
Yeah, because I think they're down his way in Sussex.
Oh, is that where he's from?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Yeah, they're from Lewis. Harvey and Son. Yeah. Okay, let's get on to this week's featured beer, which is from the makers of Innis Gunn. Is that right?
It's from Innis Gunn, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, technically I was right.
Technically, yes.
This is the Melville's Craft Lager. The one we're trying tonight is the strawberry one, which the folks at Innis Gunn very kindly sent us to try on the show. It is a fruit beer made with real fruit. This is going to be interesting, but it is apparently an award winner. Steve, do you want to give us any more details on that?
Yes, indeed. As we did the other week when we did the Raven Black IPA, That was a winner of the World Beer Awards. This beer also is a winner from those awards, and this one won the world's best fruit flavoured beer in 2012. So it's up there in terms of it's rated as a fairly decent beer to be winning that award. So yeah, looking forward to doing this one actually.
Yeah. So is this new?
I don't think Melville's have been out for very long. It's certainly only something that I've been aware of this year. It's, as I say, it's a bit of a departure for us here on the show because it's a lager and it's a fruit lager at the same time. So it's a bit of a double whammy for us in terms of trying something new. But as I say, the fact that it's been rated as the world's best, it should be quite an interesting beer to drink.
Indeed, it's a small bottle like the usual Innis Gunn ones are. It's 275 ml, 4.1% ABV. So it's still got a bit of strength in it. Yeah,
still a little bit of a kick to it. But as you say, it's a very small bottle.
Yeah. So without much further ado, let's crack this open and see what it's like. Oh, you get that beer. You get the smell from it straight away.
I'm quite surprised because to be honest, I was expecting something red. So good that it's not. It's not. You're not overly blown away with the aroma of strawberries. It's there in the background, but it's not. It's not the most prominent thing about it, is it?
No, there's definite strawberries there because this is the strawberry one we're drinking tonight. Yeah, so there's definite scent of strawberries, but with a kind of, I don't know, it's very light smell of strawberries, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like it gives it a very fresh smell. It's still, you can still get that smell of beer coming through.
Yeah, but it's not an overly smell either way. It's quite a pleasant smell. It's if the taste is anything, if the smell's anything to go by, that smell is very well balanced. So I would expect that to follow through into the taste.
Yeah. Now this is apparently made with real fruit juice, not from concentrate. So hoping that attests to the freshness of it or the fresh smelling of it. So chin chin.
Cheers. That's nice.
It's very sweet, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not sure what to make of that.
I was expecting it to be really, really fruity, like that one that I did the other week that I spoke about, the Leafman's Fruitesse. That was just fruit in every sip. This is more. It's more beery with a fruit hint rather than fruit with a beer hint. If that makes sense.
It tastes like a beer, but with a fruity layer on top.
It tastes like shandy.
Okay, I've never had shandy.
It's a lager shandy. It just tastes like lager mixed with lemonade.
Right.
It's with a hint of fruit in there.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of it at the moment. I'll be quite honest. It's not a particularly clear looking beer. It's nice and bubbly though, as you would expect from a lager.
Yep. So it's been made using Jubilee strawberries, which have been cold pressed to extract their juice, and apparently the cold pressing process takes time, which gives you a cleaner, purer flavour from the fruits. It's really strange.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm sold on this, mate.
Yeah, it's I suppose it doesn't just taste like beer, which is the most startling thing about it. I mean, yes, it's a lager, so you wouldn't expect it to have an overly beery flavour to it. and it is very well balanced in terms of the beer flavour and the fruit flavour. But I think for me, the one thing that's possibly missing is that no flavour is actually winning out of that. It's so well balanced, you're getting it all rather than one or the other.
Yeah, it's kind of having a battle in my mouth as to which do I think it's a fruit drink or do I think it's a beer? I don't know, because I'm getting the nice bitterness on my tongue, but the top of my mouth is being lined with a fruity syrup type taste. And I'm not averse to sweet drinks at all. I drink Coke Zero by the litre. So I quite like my sweet drinks. But I'm not sure what to make of this.
It's just a real strange one.
Mm.
In terms of what they said about it when it won the award, the review on the World Beer Awards site says that it's got a big berry fruit aroma that reminds you of Mivvy ice lollies. Now I don't know if that means anything to you.
No.
Not being from here originally, but the Mivvy ice lolly was almost a staple of the British diet back in the 70s and 80s. It was essentially a strawberry lolly that had like strawberry-flavoured cream in the middle of it and a strawberry icing around the outside, and that's what they're saying this is reminiscent of, and also strawberry jam. Smooth mouth feel and coats the palate, which I think you just said you felt as though you were getting a bit of a coating in the roof of your mouth rather than on your palate. And there's a background hint of oakiness, which I'm not picking up at all, but that it's clean, sweet and refreshing. So that's what the World Beer Awards thought of the beer. It's just really interesting, considering that it's essentially produced by Innis Gunn. It's at the complete other end of the spectrum to their Innis Gunn brand of beers. So whereas you get the real beery, boozy flavours from the Innis Gunn, this you just get not a lot of anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm quite disappointed. But saying that, if you consider it from what it is they're trying to bring, which is a fruity lager, you could say they have some success from it.
I think so, yeah.
But, I mean, it's not to my taste. I can see where they're coming from it. I mean, you can't really compare this to what we usually drink because it's completely separate to what we usually drink and it's not targeted towards real ale drinkers.
No, I don't think it is at all.
You can see that because it's only got a 16 rating on Rate Beer. Out of whatever they scored out of 100, I think. It's not popular at all.
I don't want to cast any aspersions or anything, but I would take a punt and say that this has been aimed at maybe the female end of the market.
Perhaps, yes.
Maybe ever so slightly. I'm not saying before we get a barrage of abuse for me saying that comment. I'm not saying that women can only drink fruit-flavoured beers and lagers and that, but I don't think it's something that's really been targeted for the beer or the craft beer or the real ale drinker.
No. So probably targeted towards the female market, but also, I don't know, guys who want something a bit lighter to drink, something a bit different. Yeah, I can definitely see what they're aiming for. I don't think they're quite there with it, in my opinion. I think the strawberry in this is too separate from the beer flavours that come through. It's not mixed in. The fact that I can taste two distinct flavours and them not complementing each other very well.
Yep.
Because you got that sweetness of the strawberry coming through, which I have to say does taste a little artificial, but that may be because it's contrasting with the hoppiness of the lager itself. But again, it's a weird one. If you consider that the beer I mentioned earlier, the Golden Glory, that the peachiness is part of the beer,
Yes.
whereas here the strawberry is separate to the beer, and that's what's peculiar for me.
Hmm. I'm actually wondering now, already trying to backtrack on my "it's aimed at the female end of the market" statement, whether they've actually maybe targeting the different flavoured ciders that are available at the moment. So is it the Copperbergs that come in a range of flavours?
Oh yeah.
Maybe they're just trying to pitch it against those in terms of, well, here's a flavoured lager. Why don't you try this? I mean, I've not seen this in any pub that I've been in as yet. So I've not seen it in many supermarkets either. So I'm not sure how widely available it is at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, if they're going to go up against those different flavoured ciders, they want their bottles a bit bigger, I think.
Yeah.
I would imagine this would be priced at a similar price point to those bottles, but those bottles are bigger. And generally, people who I think who are going for those bottles are just in the pub to get pissed up a bit.
Yeah. I don't disagree.
No. Yeah, disappointment. But I'm going to finish it.
Well, yeah, and at some point I'll tackle the raspberry one that we were sent as well to see if that's any different.
Oh, a conversation point, that Harvey's that I had as my personal assignment. I decided, because my old boss was always talking about how you drink your ales at room temperature. You don't put them in the fridge for a little bit or anything like that. So I had that as room temperature. It was straight off the beer shelf.
Yeah.
And it was nice getting the smooth flavours and the hoppiness straight away, rather than considering the spring breeze, for example. I had that in the fridge and had it straight out of the fridge, and it took ages to get anything other than hoppiness out of it. So that was interesting. I meant to mention that when I was talking about my personal assignment. So there you go. I'm going to try having room temperature beers a bit more often.
However, it's actually, I think it's a valid statement in terms of this beer, because the recommended drinking process temperature for this is serving it chilled over ice, which I've done. So I've got a little bit of ice in my glass. I've got a very chilled beer, and all I'm getting is cold strawberries. I'm not picking up any of the beer.
Oh, really?
And I'm just wondering whether it's actually a little too cold, and because of the fact that it's so cold, you're losing those other flavours that are maybe in there.
Yeah, I had my bottle out of the fridge. Maybe it's been in the fridge for a couple of days. Been out of the fridge for about half an hour before we cracked it open. So, yeah.
There goes my ice.
Yeah, that strawberry taste is still lingering in my mouth as well, but with only the very faint taste of the beer there.
I don't think you could have too many of those. I think the aftertaste would get stale very quickly.
It's sad because we like Innis Gunn. We like the thought they put into their ales. So it's a shame that we've had to have this as probably our first real disappointment, apart from the Green King IPA, for our featured review.
Yeah, maybe that's why they didn't brand it as Innis Gunn.
Maybe.
Because they knew they were taking a bit of a chance.
Yeah. Nice label, though. I do like my
Yeah, I
labels.
mean, it's a very attractive label and bottle again. You'd be drawn to it in a supermarket maybe. You'd want to pick it up and have a look at it and have a read. And obviously the stuff on the bottle doesn't actually say anything about Innis Gunn. So if you didn't know any different, you wouldn't instantly associate it with the Innis Gunn brand. But it's just that when you do look into the beer a little bit on the internet, you do see that it's actually part of the Innis Gunn chain.
Yeah.
So, but to be fair, Adam Sargent, who's their business development manager, who sends us these beers, has always said to us, to be honest, with our reviews, and they don't want people just saying that they like their beers just because they've been sent them to try. And being honest, I just, it's not something that works for me.
No. Yeah. I don't have anything more to say to that. I think I've said enough. I mean, it doesn't taste disgusting. I can see their point with it, but for me, it's too much sweet on top of two non-characteristic. There's a beer layer there that doesn't have much character, and then you got strawberry jam on top.
Yeah.
I think that basically sums up my feeling about it. I mean, my wife calls me an ale snob now because I'm always talking about lager. But, I mean, it is a lager. It's a craft lager. It's from Innis Gunn, so it's not going to be your average crap lager. It would be nice to see what their craft lager tastes like without the fruit in it.
I don't think they actually do it. That they only do the Melville's craft lager.
That's
only comes with fruit.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It would be nice to see what the lager is like without the fruit.
Oh, like that one that I sneakily had the other week when we were out on the tour. The noble craft lager that I was very excited about until I found out who produced it.
Hopefully, it wouldn't be like that. I didn't like that one. Never mind. Let's have some more beery talk, because you went and you did a little what's the word? Not I can say an excursion. You went adventuring recently.
I did, yes.
To
wandering around the streets of London.
Yeah, to a St. Peter's pub.
I did, yes. I went to the Jerusalem Tavern, which is in Clerkenwell. So it's just by about 5 minutes walk from Farringdon Station. And it is the St. Peter's Brewery, who are based in Suffolk. It's their only pub. It's the only pub they own, and it's in London. The only other place where they sell their beer on tap is actually at their brewery in Suffolk. So I headed down to the Jerusalem Tavern, which from the outside has a very Dickensian feel to it. So it wouldn't be amiss if you were watching something like A Christmas Carol. It would be quite comfortable in a snowy street with people wearing big top hats and walking sticks and little dirty children running around saying, "All right, governor," that sort of thing. So went in there. The kind of feel continues into the inside of the pub. It's a very small pub, only about half a dozen tables and sort of benches and chairs around the place. Nice, small, real open fire, but just the most amazing selection of St. Peter's beers behind the bar. And that they also sell pretty much the complete range of St. Peter's bottles as well. So while I was in there, I actually had a chat with Dave, who I believe is the manager there, and I was just asking him about the pub and the history of it. And by all accounts, it dates back to the 17th century. There's always been a pub by that name in that area, and that they finally settled on the site where it currently is to hold it as a tavern. And I asked him, the main thing I guess I wanted to find out was why is the only St. Peter's pub so far away from the brewery? So the brewery's in Suffolk, and obviously the pub's in London, and by all accounts it's the site where it is, it's where their offices and their accounts used to be. They used to be housed upstairs above the tavern. Okay. And so the beer was brewed in Suffolk, brought into London to be sold from the tavern. So it's a lovely little place, and we have been offered the opportunity to go there, and Dave mentioned that he'd be quite happy for us to record a show from there in the future. So it might be something that we maybe consider doing as part of our forthcoming season 2 of the show, where we're going to go a bit more live with some of our beer drinking.
Yeah, we just need to get the roadies together.
Yes.
Get the tour van.
I need to get my rider sorted.
Yeah, you'd put Guns N' Roses to shame with your rider, I'm sure. Okay, well, this is a bit of a short episode, but then it's a bit of a short beer. It's only a tiny bottle. You can't talk to the end of it like you can with a pint. Next week, we have an American beer.
Yes.
It is the Sierra Nevada India Pale Ale. It's the India Pale Ale, isn't it, mate?
I think it's just called a pale ale.
Okay, so this is the one I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago. That I've been avoiding it for ages because I thought the label looked amateurish. But Steve assured me that it's a very nice beer, so I got one on the weekend. Oh, I should tell our lovely listeners about my beer haul.
I think you should.
It was purely by
impressive
accident.
as it was.
Yeah, I went up to Suffolk on the weekend because my wife goes up there to visit her parents, and so I had the Melvilles waiting for me, and I just thought, I'll just pop to Waitrose and see what's there. So I bought a few bottles, and then we went out later to Sainsbury's, and there was a load more to get, and then I found a Leffy gift pack with a nice glass. So basically I ended up with a Shambles Bitter, a Goose Island IPA, a Weisenhuffen or Weisensteffen Weissbier, 2 bottles of Leffy, a Duvel, which is the Belgian beer, Old Dan by Thwaites, I think, another bottle of Cooper's Red, the Sierra Nevada India Pale Ale, a Caesar Augustus by, I think it's the
Williams Brothers,
yeah. And a Young's Double Chocolate Stout, because that came in a gift pack with a pint glass, and I'm trying to get the different styles of pint glasses. So I've got my traditional British pub pint glass, my nice Leffy wine-shaped glass almost, my little Melville's half-pint glass, and my St. Peter's tall, big bastard of a pint glass, and my gobletty one from Bath Ales. So I've got a nice collection now. The wife isn't pleased.
she sounds about as pleased as mine. I keep coming home with glasses again as well.
Yeah, I'm taking up an entire cupboard in the kitchen with my glasses and 2 shelves in the fridge with my beer. And then I've got my pub shelf in the spare room. So it's all good. Yeah, so that was a good haul. Oh, dear.
I picked up a bottle of the Fuller's Brewers Reserve number 4 last week, which I think you remember back to one of the episodes that we did back in August when I was at the Great British Beer Festival. I kind of reviewed it live.
Yeah, I think I saw a bottle of that.
It's the one that they release every year for the beer festival.
That's like a $5, isn't it?
So there's only a limited run of it. I managed to pick up a bottle of that this week that I'm going to be enjoying at Christmas, and the bar that I bought it from were kind enough to give me a glass
very nice.
to drink it in as well. So that's a lovely. it's like a big pint-sized brandy glass.
Wow.
So I'll be looking forward to enjoying my beer in the appropriate glass at Christmas time.
Is that the bottle that cost something like a $5 or something?
It cost me £7.30 odd.
Yeah, I think I've seen that at the Waitrose in Bury St Edmunds, and I've been hesitant to get it because I don't know just how strong it would be.
Yeah,
whether I'd end up wasting £7.
I think it's 8.5%, 9%.
Oh, bloody hell!
It's quite a strong beer.
Shoosh. Oof. Yeah, that'll put me on my arse for Christmas. Okay. Right, I think that's enough, mate. Folks, you can find us on Twitter at Beer O'Clock Show. You can find us on Facebook the same, Beer O'Clock Show. You can find Stephen on Twitter at Mental Bentos. And you can find myself at Roku, ROKKU. The website is beeroclockshow.co.uk. And you can find us on iTunes, where please leave a review and a star rating. Just do a search on iTunes for Beer O'Clock Show and we should come up at the top. That's it from me, and that's it from Stephen. Join us next week for the Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. and we'll talk to you soon. See you, mate.
See you later. See you next week.
Bye.